recording now. Again, sorry, I forgot. So we are recording now. So we are starting with Land of Sad Oranges, short story written by Ghassan Kanafani, narrated, presumably, we will discuss this, by a child. Is story about the Nakba. Whose Nakba is it? It is my Nakba. It is your Nakba. Of course, some of you might argue that we do not belong to the Nakba generation, but we have inherited the Nakba, whether consciously or subconsciously. The life conditions we are living right now had been created by the Nakba itself. The fact that most of us are refugees, the fact that we live under medieval siege, the Gaza Strip, is the product of the Nakba. 72 years of an ongoing Nakba. So what is going to happen when we read this story? We want to go back, sorry, some people are joining us. We want to go back to the origin and look at the Nakba from the perspective, and this is very important, narrator. Who is the narrator? When you read the story, that is your first homework. I want you to address this question. Who is the narrator? Do we know his name? How old is he? Is he a child? And if the story is narrated from the point of view of a child, why? Why a child? Can't an adult narrate the story of the Nakba? Notice, guys, and this is the point about this course. Yes, it is comparative literature, but it deals also with the context within which the stories, the texts that we are going to be studying, the context within which these texts are written. So, The Land of Sad Oranges, of course, the title is very important. We will come to that after you read the story. We will have our first discussion next time after you read the story. So we want to look at the context. What is the context within which the story is written? Of course, the first thing is you want to say, all right, the context here is the Nakba, definitely, and therefore it's a political, sorry, I need to admit a new purpose. Okay. The context, political. But what I'm interested in is that it is not only political, socio-political. Meaning what? Socio-political, meaning social and political. Social and political. The narrator and his family, when you read the story, you will tell me about his family. And next time, inshallah, I want you to open your mics one by one, tell me your understanding of the story, that the narrator and his family belong to a particular social class. Particular social class. What is that social class? Social class. Mainly in our modern society, which is capitalistic. We live in a capitalist world, and in the capitalist world, mainly we have two major classes, bourgeoisie, or rather the middle class, and the working class. Well, does he, the narrator, or his family rather, they belong to the bourgeoisie? Definitely, most Palestinians before the Nakba belonged most, I'm not saying all, by no means, I'm not saying all. Most Palestinians belonged to a class before the Nakba, and they changed their social class, or they were forced, they were forced to change their social class after the Nakba. So what is the social class that the narrator belonged to? And by the way, before I forget, some of you confuse the narrator with the writer. I am not talking about the writer. And in fact, I'm not interested. I am not interested in the writer. The writer, Allah yarhamu. So when you discuss the story with me, don't say Ghassan Kanafani means this or means that. You cannot say Ghassan Kanafani means this or he means that because he's dead. Ghassan Kanafani is dead. I mean, and how can you be so sure that this is what Ghassan Kanafani means? Of course, he's dead. Therefore, it only depends on our interpretation as readers. So what we are talking about here, we are talking about what the narrator means. So we need to forget about the writer. I am not interested. Of course, if you should know something about Ghassan Kanafani, of course, a martyr, Shaheed, Allah yarhamu. He was killed in 1972 by the Israeli Mossad with his niece, Layla, booby-trapped. They bombed his car, they trapped his car because of his ideas. I mean, this is a writer who was targeted by apartheid Israel. The word apartheid, apartheid Israel, we'll talk about this. He was killed, but that has nothing to do with our story. I'm telling you this because I know that most of you are interested, and because we are Palestinian, and because we want to know about our cause, we want to know as to why Israel has been targeting, I would call Ghassan Kanafani, Edward Said, Mahmoud Darwish, Mu'in Peso, Tawfiq Zayyad. I'm sure most of you are familiar with these names, intellectuals, because they represent the Palestinian mind. Me, the names I have just mentioned, represent, and I want you, sometimes I will use words, definitions. I want you to look out these definitions online, use dictionaries, but look, I'm not asking about meanings of words, guys. I'm asking about definitions, because I will be asking you the future define concepts. So now one of the first definitions I want you to look out is resistance literature. Mahmoud Darwish's literature. Don't forget, we are studying comparative literature. So two definitions I want you to look out. I want you to find out about these definitions. What do we mean? I will not tell you. I mean, you are university students, and you will have to find out. When you find out, you can discuss with me. Yeah. Again, some of you who know me and who know my courses, I don't want you to memorize. Don't forget this. I don't want you to memorize. I want you to understand. I really want you to understand. And I am really interested, those of you who are interested in knowing more and more, not only about our course, but political issues, social issues that we can discuss, but related to our course. So two definitions. One, comparative literature. And that is the title. That's the title of our course. Comparative literature. Excuse me. The second, sorry, people are joining. The second term is resistance literature. Right? I'm going to write it. And I want to make sure that you know how to say the term resistance literature, and I want you to find out the definition. What do we mean by resistance literature? The story that you will read, which I'm going to upload on Moodle, is titled The Land of Sad Oranges, which is part of resistance literature. Of course, you know the word resistance. But what I'm interested in is resistance literature. What makes text part of resistance literature? Of course, there are many, many Palestinian texts, Palestinian literature, in South African literature, in Kenyan literature. Now, there are many texts that have been written, poetry, drama, fiction. But we cannot say that everything that is written in produced in Palestinian literature or South African literature is part of resistance literature. So I want you to tell me, why do we call it resistance literature? Okay, I'm writing it for you. You will find out. And what I'm going to do, in addition, I'm going to post some references for you as well on Moodle, on the discussion forum about resistance literature. Some texts, rather analysis of the text itself, of The Land of Sad Oranges. Myself, I have written a couple of analytical pieces. I will post one or two of them. I will post something about resistance literature. And then when we finish with Ghassan Kanafani, we will discuss as to why we consider it part of what we call comparative literature. Well, the first thing I want you to understand is that, yes, it is part of resistance literature. But notice, I'm not saying resistance because it's about resisting occupation. No. That's not the only thing. Of course not. I'm not asking about the meaning of resistance. I'm asking about the concept of resistance literature. It is part and parcel of what we call post-colonial literature. Post-colonial literature. So, what is post-colonial literature? Another definition. What is post-colonial literature? And the fact that I'm starting with a post-colonial text, with a post-colonial short story, is that, okay, pay attention to what I'm saying. Pay attention, because you need to understand this as part of comparative literature. Post-colonial literature, notice, post, this is a prefix, all right? Colonial. Okay, I don't know what your name is, Galaxy. Galaxy, if you can't hear me, the others can hear me. Maybe your internet connection. The others can hear me, okay? But I'm recording this, we will post it. I'm recording it, and we will post it. Okay, but let me not be, you can interrupt me, of course, if you can't hear me. All of you cannot hear me. But I will allow you to ask me whatever you want in a second. Post-colonial literature, Sabaya wa Shabab, is by nature comparative. So post-colonial literature, okay, a very simple, very, very simple definition. This is direct, but this is not the definition I want. Clear? This is not the definition I want. But I'm looking at the term itself, post-colonial, which means after colonialism, correct? Post, the prefix, suffix, etc. This is a prefix. Post-colonial, that which comes after. So it's the literature which has been and is still being written, of course, after the end of colonialism. I am not interested in that definition, but I'm just explaining the direct meaning, okay? I want you to give me a better definition. I want you to give me a better definition. So post-colonial literature, but the question is, Ghassan Kanafani's literature, can it be considered post-colonial? We Palestinians are still under colonialism. Colonialism, meaning what? Under direct, notice the definition of colonialism, direct military occupation. Israel has been occupying Palestine since 1948. How many years? 72. 72 years, Palestine has been under direct military occupation. But international law is not saying the same thing. What is under direct military occupation, according to international law, is the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. Gaza, the West Bank. So what about Nazareth and Nasr, Ashkelon, Al-Majdal, Jaffa, Haifa? Well, what they are saying, according to international law, what Israel, the system, the political system, Israel is exercising is apartheid. Apartheid. Yes. Apartheid, like what used to be the system that they used to have in South Africa. Of course, everybody knows South Africa. So what we have here, we have occupation, and we have apartheid. All right. So the question now, is Israel's colonialism, sorry, people are still joining. Okay. Israel's occupation of Palestine, is it classical colonialism or different kind of colonialism? Pay attention. This is important for your story, Khabaya wa Shabab. Is it like the British colonization, for example, of India? Is it like English colonialism in Egypt, or like French colonialism of Algeria, American colonialism of America, white colonialism of South Africa? Am I clear? Which means we have two kinds of colonialism. What we are witnessing, or rather the form of colonialism Israel has been exercising against the Palestinian people, is settler colonialism. So we are not talking about here only direct military occupation, where you have a government, a country, sending soldiers to occupy another country. That's what colonialism is. Direct military occupation. Directly. Before Israel, yes, Palestine was under British colonialism. But the Zionist movement has started the process of settler colonization this time. Settler colonialism. Okay. Writing this, you need to look up definitions. Okay. Right. So I am interested in finding out the differences between colonialism and settler colonialism. And then we will understand our story. We will read it, analyze it, interpret it, understand it. Understand it, when I say understand it, what I mean is understand it within political, social, or rather socio-political context. And the political context is settler colonialism. The social context, we'll talk about it when we start reading it. So that is the introduction, Sabaya. Then we will discuss together next time why this is comparative literature. Inshallah, after we finish with Ghassan Kanafani, because Arabic literature related to not only English literature. When we discuss comparative literature, it doesn't mean that we only compare, a naive way, very naively, bisadaja, in a way, this to the great English texts we know. No. For example, we will look at, or rather we will read together another short story from Senegal. Fascinating short story by a great man. His name is Sembene Osmane. The title is Black Girl, and it's also a movie. You will see the movie. I will ask you to see the movie. Black Girl. It's about racism. Then we will move, notice, from Palestine. I'm sure you understand the map. We move from Palestine, Senegal, which is Eastern Africa. Then we will go to Somalia. Somalia. And look at how many languages we are using here. And then inshallah, we'll hope we'll compare those texts, a great Russian text, Anton Chekhov's story, a short story by Anton Chekhov, Lament, hopefully. You'll compare it to that story. What is left? So that is just Sabaya wa Shabab, an introduction. What I want from you in these classes, I want you to respect the virtual class, be as professional as possible. Listen to what I'm saying. I said to you, don't start by saying what is the exam going to be like. Exam. This is not about exams. I want you to enjoy this course. I want you, when you finish this course, to say, I have learned something. I want you to say that you have learned something. Now, I will stop recording because this is the first class. If you have any questions, ask me, and then I will tell you something about an activity we are doing online for those who are interested. Those who are interested, I will tell you about it. Activity we are doing on Friday and on Saturday. The thing is that we will have these virtual classes online because I'm supposed to have one class in the morning, one class in the evening because of electricity. Now I have electricity. I am thinking that today is, what is today? Tuesday? Today is Tuesday, I think. Today is Wednesday. Oh, sorry. Today is Wednesday. Which means we will have another class on Monday. I don't know whether I will have electricity in the morning or in the afternoon, but I will send you a message. Galaxy, I don't know who Galaxy J2, he's not writing his name. Want to know her name or his name? You have an internet connection problem, not us. Okay, let's decide to have our next class on Monday. Tomorrow, okay, I will upload this online. This is the first time I'm doing it, by the way. So I will find out how to upload it. If one of you knows, Uthman is with us. I think you know Uthman, you will tell me, or anybody else. We'll upload this, and then we'll also upload the story for you, Land of Sad Oranges. We'll also upload another extra material. Then on Monday, inshallah, we meet again, and I will see either in the morning or in the evening. And I want you to have the text with you because we will be reading together. What I'm going to do, a textual analysis. Textual analysis, meaning that we will read, line by line. Okay. Textual analysis. All right. Of course, and contextual. Textual and contextual. Context, I have already started talking about the context. And inshallah, on Monday, we'll start doing, textual analysis. Okay, let me stop recording now about 40 minutes. I will stop recording, and I have to learn how to do this. Okay, I found out. Then if you have any questions, you can, one by one, right? Open your mic, ask me your question. I want you to discuss anything with you, anytime, no problem. Send me messages. Line here, you can discuss with me, but it has to be in English. In English. no Arabic. I mean, you are studying English. This is an advanced course, and we will use only English. Okay, everybody. Okay, I will stop recording, and then